Hi everybody, it's Becky with Life Keys Energy. Thanks for joining me tonight for Restorative. For tonight's class, we are going to need 2 throw-size blankets, possibly 2 blocks, but I know for sure 1, and a chair or a wall or something of that sort to close with legs up the wall. Today's class is a little bit different than some of the ones we've been doing recently. We're only going to do about 6 poses after our warm-up, and we're going to hold each pose for give or take 8 to 10 minutes. So we'll go ahead and get started. Coming into Sukhasana, heels in line with the groin. Starting to rock side to side, feeling the sit bones connect to the earth beneath you. Coming into just a little bit of stillness here. Bringing the shoulders up to the ears, waterfall the shoulder blades down the back. And start to imagine there's a string on the top of your head pulling you just a little bit taller. If you're looking for some more grounding energy tonight, of being more present, being in the body, maybe those palms will face down. If you're more open and receptive, you're looking for new energy, maybe some creative energy and new thoughts, palms will face up. Totally yogi's choice, doing whichever feels best for you. And then bringing your awareness to your breath. How does it feel to breathe tonight? Where does that air want to go? And where does that air not want to go? We're going to open up tonight's practice with some 5-3-7 breath. So taking a deep breath in through the nose and a full exhale out through the mouth. Breathe in through the nose for a 5 count. Hold the breath up full for a 3 count. And then exhale out through the mouth like you're breathing through a straw for a 7 count. Inhale 5. Hold 3. Exhale 7. Inhale 5. Hold 3. Exhale 7. 4 more, just like that. After your last 5-3-7 breath, come back to deep yogic breathing. And bring the hands to undulate heart center, pressing the thumbs into the sternum. Taking just a moment to set a sankalpa or an intent for today's practice. Exhale, release the hands to the knees, drop the chin to the chest. Inhale the ear to one shoulder. Exhale, chin to chest. Inhale, ear to opposite shoulder. Exhale, chin to chest. Continue with this. Let your breath start to carry you here. When the ear comes to one shoulder, go ahead and hold it there. Bring that same arm up and over, adding just a little bit of pressure. And walk the opposite hand away from the body. Inhale, lift up, switching sides, dropping the chin to the chest, bringing the ear to the opposite shoulder. Bring that same arm up and over, adding just a little bit of pressure, and walk the opposite hand away from the body. Inhale, lift up. We're going to interlace the fingers. Bring the fingers back behind the occipital. Drop the chin to the chest, and then round the back, look down at the belly. Adding just a little bit of weight on the back of the head here, finding that stretch all the way down the back. Inhale, lift up. We're going to take these same interlaced fingers, push the palms away from the body at shoulder height, round the back and look down at the belly one more time. Inhale, lift up, release the arms, rolling out the shoulders. We are going to open up tonight's practice with prone Supta Baddha Konasana. We're going to start actually on the belly in this pose. The reason is because the energy in the air right now is kind of chaotic and crazy, and lots of people are kind of struggling to ground and be present right now. So when we start on our bellies, it just gives us an opportunity to be here now and push away the outside world. So to come into this pose, we're going to take both our blankets, starting kind of in a rectangle shape like this. And we're going to put the blankets on top of each other. And then I have a Princess and the Pea thing that happens, so I like to start at the fringe, but we're going to roll our blankets together, making a little burrito. And we'll bring our little burrito down the mat because actually our hip bones will be going on this. And then taking a block or a book or even a third blanket, just something that's going to give you a little bit of height, we're going to put that down at the back of the mat. So to come into this pose, we'll go ahead and do tabletop and rest the feet on our block or our blanket. Start to walk the knees out super wide, bringing the soles of the feet together. The blanket will go right under the hip bones, and then we'll lay down onto the belly. The arms come overhead in a diamond shape, and the head turns to one side. I will let you know when we're halfway through the pose, so we can switch cheeks. Your only job is to lay here and breathe. Noticing your breath. It might feel good to turn the cheek to the other side. Slowly start to deepen your breath. Bring the hands back underneath the shoulders. Push the hips back towards the heels for a modified Balasana, child's pose. Taking 3 deep breaths here. Then bringing the hands underneath the shoulders, pushing yourself back up to a seated position. We're going to take the block that was at the foot of the mat and bring it up here to the top. This is going to be your new pillow for the next pose. We're going to take our bolster that we made and we're just going to slip it up the mat. So we're going to come into supported Sphinx pose, another prone on the belly pose. So you'll bring the bolster up here to right underneath the chest. So you want the rib cage to rest on the bolster. The legs extend back behind you. And then you're going to plant the forearms onto the ground and kind of hug the elbows into your bolster. From here, we're going to adjust our blocks and figure out what feels right and let our heads relax down onto the block. When we get into this pose, we have a tendency to do a few things. So let's see if we can moosh our hips a couple of times here to release some of the tension there. See if you can roll your legs a little bit, releasing some of the held tension there. And then if your low back is aching in this pose, see if maybe turning your toes out just a little bit would help. Slowly deepen your breath. Bring the hands back underneath the shoulders and push yourself back into Balasana for 2 deep breaths. Hips to heels, child's pose. And then bringing the hands back underneath the shoulders, push yourself up. So we're actually in the starting position for our next pose, which is generally our opening pose. We're going to come into child's pose for the next 5 minutes. And there are a couple of different options. Actually, there are like 4 different options. The one that I generally cue in this class is the supported open child's pose. So what that looks like is toes together, knees out wide. Bring your little burrito between the legs, and then you can lay your belly down onto your burrito, turn the cheek to either side that feels good, and hang out here. So this is your first bus stop on this pose tonight. If you practice with me regularly, you know we do this almost every week. If that's not calling to you, that's not giving you that grounding, that that release in the low back and hips that you're asking for tonight, maybe go ahead and just bring your burrito off your mat and stay in this open, wide-legged child's pose. Walk the hands forward and rest the third eye down onto the ground. If you like that, that's great. What else you got? I got one more stop for you. If neither of those first 2 are calling to you and you're looking for a little bit more in the upper shoulders and low back, go ahead and bring the legs together. You're going to walk the hands forward and place the third eye onto the floor. If this is too intense, you're welcome to bring the block under your third eye. And then the hands can either go up front, or I prefer coming down behind me, reaching back for the heels. Lots of options. Find your comfort. Find what's best for you tonight. We're going to hang out here for 5 minutes, taking deep, deep belly breaths, letting the body relax. Slowly deepen the breath. Bring the hands back underneath the shoulders and push yourself up into a seated position. We're going to bring the burrito either back onto the mat or slip it up the mat. We're going to come into reclined spinal twist. So again, this is a pose with lots of options. We're going to hold it for 5 minutes on each side. So the most important part is that you get the hip touching your burrito. You don't want a space here. From here, maybe you stack the legs. Maybe you stagger the legs. Maybe you straighten the top leg, whatever is comfortable. What's important is the hip is touching, and now we're going to lift up through the spine, twist over our burrito, and place the belly onto the blankets. You'll turn your cheek to whichever side feels best. Hanging out here for 5 minutes, taking some deep belly breaths. I once had a yoga teacher that told me to breathe into my back space here. And I had no idea what the heck she was talking about. She's also one that used to cue breathing into your left pinky toe. Cues that don't really resonate in my body, but can you direct your air or bring your awareness to the low lumbar area? And can you start to breathe in deeply enough that this lower lumbar area actually moves a little bit on the inhale and exhale? Notice what that feels like in this pose. Bringing those hands back underneath the shoulders, pushing yourself back up to a seated position. We're going to come into the same pose on the opposite side. So turning around, once again, bringing that hip right up to your burrito. Playing with the legs, seeing if they want to be stacked, staggered, or some other variation. And then lift up through the spine, twist over your bolster, and place the belly onto the bolster. And once again, you can turn your cheek to either side, whatever side is more comfortable for you. Once again, deepening the breath and playing with the breath down into this lumbar area. Slowly start to deepen your breath. Bring the hands back underneath the shoulders. Push yourself back up. We're going to grab our blocks and we're going to come into supported bridge for about 5 minutes. So to come into supported bridge, well, let's start here. Your block has 3 levels if you're using a yoga block, which is baby bear, mama bear, and papa bear. Most of us doing this class are going to be on the mama bear level. The baby bear doesn't give us a whole lot of stretch, and papa bear is so intense that it's 5 minutes will last forever. So with the soles of the feet planted on the ground, cute puppy optional, you'll come back onto your back, put the weight into the heels, lift the hips up, and just slip that block right underneath the hips. Take a moment here, walk the shoulder blades down the back, making you room to breathe. And go ahead and close the eyes, hanging out here for about 5 minutes. Putting the weight into the heels, lift the hips up, remove the block, come back onto your back. Hug your knees to your chest for just a moment. Reset that spine. And then staying in this small ball shape, start to rock up and down your mat, giving yourself a low back massage, eventually making your way up to a seated position. We're going to go ahead and close with legs up the wall or legs up the chair. If you are using a chair, I find it is much more comfortable to just throw a blanket over the edge. Okay, buddy. To add a little bit of padding here, that's totally optional though. If you think you are pregnant, or if you are pregnant, you will want to grab another blanket and fold the blanket so it's about this thick and place it right next to the wall. This also is a nice modification for anybody with low back pain, or if you just want to try it, it's not going to hurt you. You're going to come up on the side of your hip so that your booty is either up against the wall or right underneath the chair. This is actually the most important part of the pose because especially if you're using a wall, you want your booty right up against there so that when we come into the pose, you have support. From here, you're going to come onto the back and slip the legs up the wall or onto the chair. When you get here, you'll want to make sure that both glutes and the hamstrings are being supported by the wall. If you're using a wall, the heels, the calves, and the hamstrings are probably touching. If you're using a chair, go ahead and bend the knees and get the support from the chair like this. Walking the shoulder blades down the back. Come into your final resting pose. Legs up the wall. Slowly start to deepen your breath and start to wiggle your fingers and toes. If your legs are up or wall, go ahead and bend the knees and slide the feet down. Everybody bring the arms up over the head for a full body stretch. Rolling over onto your side and staying here for a moment. You were upside down for quite a while. Pause here. Bring to mind one thing that you love about yourself. One thing that you're grateful for right now. And offer yourself just a moment of gratitude for taking time to practice tonight. Without rushing or hurrying, totally on your time. Use your arms to push yourself up to a seated position. Bringing the hands to Anjali Heart Center and pressing the thumbs into the sternum. And I leave you with these words from page 169 of the Chameleon Aura. Intentions. Sometimes the most powerful intentions are silent. Ones where you don't have to say a thing. One where your actions reveal where you stand. Words aren't always necessary. Sometimes the way you water yourself and treat yourself will show them how you deserve to be received. Don't preach to deaf ears. Save your words for those willing to learn your love language. Make sure you leave room for those who are meant to reach you. I am so very grateful for the opportunity to practice with each and every one of you. I sincerely hope that you leave this practice feeling just a skosh better than when we started. The light in me very much honors the light in you. Namaste. If you find value in this offering, we do it every Wednesday night. Share it with your friends and family. It's completely free. If you're finding value on Patreon, share that too. We no longer have to be in close proximity to Kitsap County to practice together. In the meantime, be kind to yourself and be kind to